Joining us now from Arcadia, California, is a forensic psychologist, and I asked for Dr. Chris Monhundi. I hope I'm saying your name right, Doctor, to come on in, and I set you up with King. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm sure you do because you've seen this kind of stuff, but why would you inject yourself into a horrible situation like this and try to justify some kind of an assassination by saying something bad about the victim? Is this common, or what's your take on it?
Well, I think there's a lot of people on social media, having all kinds of strong and strident opinions about this and other things. And that's part of the place where people go on deep dives and get reinforcement for becoming more, extreme in their views on all sides
But
of
why do
many
they
different.
want to become more extreme? Why?
Well, I think that there's a lot of validation in the virtual world. I think that people seek it. And it's an unfortunate thing because at the end of the day, we have to find our humanity here, kind of what you've been talking about. We need to find our humanity here and draw a line in the sand and say, no, this isn't okay to celebrate. It's something to mourn. There are multiple layers of loss and grief to be had here for what this terrible incident represents. So, it's not the right response, I believe. The right response is to be respectful, and to be very clear that this behavior is not acceptable by anyone.
What percentage of the population do you believe is radicalized? Both sides. What percent?
I'm not sure what the percent would be, Bill. I don't know that I have a hard number on that. I'd say it's single percentages would be my academic educated guess. Would be single percentage of people that would have any kind of identification with this, and those that would be willing to do anything, a fraction of that percentage.
But it's being spurred on by the social media cauldron
Oh
of
yeah,
hate, right? So it's elevated.
100%.
Now,
Hundred
my
percent. Because
estimate,
in years past, you have these kinds of ideas and you seek validation for them. You didn't have a
no,
forum
there's nobody
where
to go.
people.
Yeah, there wasn't a
Yep.
let's kill everybody club, except for the Ku Klux Klan and neo-Nazi groups and things like that. Cold and flu season coming on up. We all know it. And it really is nothing to take lightly. So when people start getting sick all across the country, medications disappear. Everybody wants it at the same time. So it's very, very smart to have a pharmacy you can count on, like All Family Pharmacy. Right now, they're helping Americans get ahead of the curve with 10% off antibiotics, antivirals, other essentials. You know how important it is to have the right meds when you get sick, particularly when your kids get sick. You don't want to be going into the doctor's office, spending all the time. You want to have them at your home. So if you have a few months' supply, you don't have to worry. And that's what we're doing here. If you believe in medical freedom, okay, and taking care of your family, as I do, this is the pharmacy for you. Please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use code BILL10 to save 10%. But my estimation, based on my research of 50 years in the arena, about 15% of human beings around the world are evil. That's why I wrote Confronting Evil, 15, 1 5. All right, now, there's obviously degrees. You read Dante's Divine Comedy and the Nine Circles of Hell, there's obviously degrees of evil. But what I find now in American society is that a lot of people turning away from evil. So it's easy to build a bubble around your life now. And you don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with this Southside Chicago gang thing. I don't want to deal with this migrant criminal thing. I'm going to just turn away from it. And in the book, Confronting Evil, when the population turns away, then evil rises in a very dramatic way and terrible things happen. Are you seeing that?
I think that I'm seeing a couple things. One is exactly what preceded this discussion, which is validation in the virtual world for things that people wouldn't get validated for before, which reinforces it. And I do think that when people become so overwhelmed and feel helpless and turn away, it does prevent the boundary setting that needs to take place for some of these ideas and some of these things that occur. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
that
let me
people.
give you a very concrete example. The drug cartels run Mexico, and they run Mexico because everybody's afraid of them. Nobody wants to confront them, including the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum. So they've been able to amass an evil empire which kills millions of people all over the world because people just don't want to take them on. And I'm seeing more and more of that. People just shrinking inside themselves and their own little virtual world and saying, hell with it, I'm not going to put myself at risk. I think that's growing.
Fear and powerlessness, I would agree, are the byproduct of these kinds of things, and many people they can't handle it, and then they just turn off. It's too much. It's too much with the day to day that they have to manage their own lives, and that translates into helplessness, powerlessness, and then what do? Do you stay and you face it, or are you just too overwhelmed and you got to turn away? And I think you're right, Bill. I think a lot of people do turn away.
And there you go. And that's all evil needs is to rise. Doctor, thanks very much. We appreciate your expertise.